Yo, what's up, sports bettors? So I've already given out a lot of plays, a lot of bets on PrizePicks, but I've explained this before. Sometimes there's more value on PrizePicks, sometimes there's more value on Underdog Fantasy, right? All these books, they all set lines independently. They're all slightly different. So sometimes there's more value on PrizePicks, Underdog, no house advantage. So long story short, as a sharp bettor, it's advantageous to have as many accounts as possible, right? The more sports books you have, the more profitable bets there will be. There can be profitable bets on no house advantage. There's actually a bunch right now. PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, but in this video, I got to play on no house advantage. So I've explained this before, but no house advantage works very similar to PrizePicks in that it's fixed payouts, right? You have a payout multiplier and this payout is fixed, right? It doesn't matter if you take overs, unders, whatever. We can switch this, to a different pick. So if we switch this to, whatever, I guess it's harder than I thought. But long story short, it's a fixed payout platform, right? So breaking down the math of no house advantage, they're 5-pick insurance entries. So I think they recently added insurance. But long story short, I broke down the math of no house advantage insured entries. And long story short, to be profitable on no house advantage, you got to find picks that are winning over 53.227% of the time, right? So if you're hitting your player props at a rate of 55%, on no house advantage, your ROI is going to be really good, 14%. What no house advantage assumes is most people don't have an edge, right? They assume most people can't select their over-unders much better than 50% of the time, right? So if you're below 53%, you're going to lose money. If you hit 50% of your picks in an insured entry, you're going to lose 22% of your money on no house advantage long term. So you just are looking for player props that are winning over 53.227% of the time. So the tool I'm going to start out on is the OddsJam, positive expected value tool. So we cover this a lot. This is where I get a lot of my bets from PrizePicks, for PrizePicks, and also I'll include the spreadsheet in the description breaking down no house advantage. So if you want to look at no house advantage, you want to analyze their payouts, what's optimal is these 5-pick entries, and all the math is broken down here. So you can feel free to take a look. I'll include this in the description. But long story short, my first player prop on no house advantage is from the positive EV tool, and I'm on Trae Young under 9.5 assists, right? So I've explained this before, but this platform, they're not changing your payouts based on you selecting over or under, and you can see right here, right? All the sports books have Trae's under heavily juiced. So this is a sharp bet to go with on no house advantage. It's a great NBA player prop bet that you can go with for tonight, 2.35% profit margin. Right, so this really is the power of sports betting, right? If all your bets, let's say, have a 2.35% profit margin, these returns in sports betting are daily, right? This game is today, right? Celtics Hawks, this game is today. So in sports betting, in general, you're betting on games that are that day, so your returns are daily. Right? So like as an example, there's 162 games in the MLB regular season. If you have a 2% profit margin on your bets over the course of a season, that's 324% return just on MLB. If you can have a 2% profit margin on all your bets over the course of, a season, that's a 324% return. So long story short, really great bet to go with for tonight. All the sports books are telling us, Trae Young's under is super heavily favored. So all you're looking for is 5 player prop bets, just like this. Trae Young under 9.5 assists, where sports books are telling you one side, in this case it's the under, is heavily favored, right? Bet Online has the under at -130. Caesars has the under at -151. All these sports books are data points telling us the under is a lot more likely than the over. Right? Pinnacle, the sharpest sports book in the world, they have the under juiced all the way to -153. So this is a great player prop bet you can go with. Then let's switch over to the NHL. So I say this all the time. Sometimes there's more value in the NHL. Sometimes there's more value in the NBA. I don't care, right? Out of these thousands of odds on Underdog Fantasy, on No House Advantage or on PrizePicks, right? It's the same thing. Out of all the different lines, all the different things you can bet, right? You're just looking for 5 picks. You don't need to bet on every game. You're like an investor. You're choosing your spots, right? You're looking for those few rare betting opportunities where no house advantage is slipping up and they're offering us too much value. So right here, you can see for Patrick Kane, all the sports books have his over 2.5 shots on goal pretty heavily favored. So, like, same thing here. OddsJam is just reading in data from sports books. So Trae Young, under 9.5 assists, heavily favored on DraftKings, minus 145 odds. Patrick Kane, over 2.5 shots on goal is the value here. All the books are saying, Patrick Kane's over is really heavily favored. That's a great player prop bet to go with. Again, it's just the bet in bold and in green on OddsJam. That's the pick you want to go with. So that's my second play. So then I switched over to the fantasy screen on OddsJam. So you can use this again for PrizePicks Underdog, No House Advantage. Like, I really do recommend sign up for all of these sports books, right? Like, sign up for as many as possible. More sports books, more profitable betting opportunities. This play on Trae Young, so if we pull it back up, right, you're going to see this play isn't on PrizePicks. So if you only have No House Advantage, and No House Advantage has better payouts than PrizePicks does for 5-pick entries, right? So first of all, No House Advantage has better payouts for 5-pick entries. And then second of all, this line isn't even on PrizePicks, right? So more sportsbooks, more profitable betting opportunities. But long story short, with this fantasy screen, all this tool shows you is player props that are winning over 53.22% of the time. Those are gonna be the plays in green, right? So any play hitting above 53.22% of the time is going to be profitable in a No House Advantage entry. Again, the math behind their payouts is right here. So long story short, we can use this fantasy screen, grab some of these player props. Trae under 9.5 assists. I went with Hayes over half of a single, so Hayes to record a single. All the sportsbooks have his over heavily favored. Ryan Mountcastle to have a single. All the sportsbooks have his over juiced to minus 135. There's no disagreement in the market. All the books have him to get a single at minus 135. So long story short, following all the data in the market, Dylan Cease over 6.5 strikeouts, grabbing player props that have a positive profit margin. I'm betting 200 to win 2,400. So I'm on Patrick Kane, over 2.5 shots on goal. So we went through that play from the EV tool. Trae Young under 9.5 assists right here. Hayes to record a single, Mountcastle single, Cease strikeouts, all these plays from the fantasy screen. A lot of bets, a lot of options out there. So hopefully this video was helpful. Let's make money.